Picture the most spoiled brat you've ever seen in your life. You know the exact kid I'm talking about. The one throwing an absolute apocalyptic tantrum in the middle of a crowded mall. They are on the floor, kicking, screaming, hyperventilating because they want a piece of plastic they didn't know existed 5 minutes ago. And what do the parents do? Exhausted, embarrassed, and desperate for 5 seconds of peace, they hand over the credit card. They buy the toy. The kid instantly stops crying, smugly clutching the prize. When you see that, you roll your eyes, right? You judge the parents. You judge the kid. You think, I would never let my child behave like that. What an absolute lack of discipline. But then you drive home. You walk through your front door after a long, stressful week at a job you tolerate. You drop your keys on the counter, pull out your phone, open Amazon, and you finance a $1,200 smartphone you don't actually need, using money you don't actually have. Why? Because you had a hard week. Because you deserve a little treat. Congratulations, you are the spoiled brat on the floor of the mall. The only difference is that instead of crying to your parents, you're crying to Visa and American Express. And believe me, they are more than happy to buy you the toy to shut you up. But unlike your parents, they are charging you 24.99% interest for the privilege. Welcome back. Today, we are having the financial intervention your parents never gave you. We are going to talk about the psychological disease of adult entitlement, why your credit card is just a pacifier for your stress, and how to actually fix the mess you've made of your bank account. And I promise you, I will not be using any spreadsheets, because we both know you're not going to use them anyway. Let's get to work. Look at me for a second, break through the screen, and let's have a completely honest conversation. The reason you are drowning in consumer debt isn't because the cost of eggs went up. It's not because of inflation, and it's certainly not because you don't make enough money. I know people making $250,000 a year who check their bank accounts with one eye closed because they are terrified of what they'll see. The reason you are in debt is because of a single, highly toxic phrase that the marketing industry violently implanted into your brain. I deserve it. Think about your last 5 non-essential purchases. The clothes with the tags still on them. The food delivery when your fridge was full of groceries. The car upgrade that bumped your monthly payment by $300 for absolutely no functional reason. What was the internal monologue right before you swiped the card? I work hard. I deserve a nice dinner out. I've had a terrible month. I deserve to upgrade my phone. Everyone else is going on vacation. I deserve a break. This is the adult tantrum. We use the concept of deserving to bypass any logical friction regarding our finances. You have equated the exhaustion of existing in the modern world with a divine right to acquire luxury goods. Here is the cold, hard, unsexy truth. The math does not care about your feelings. The math does not care that your boss yelled at you on Tuesday. Compound interest does not pause because you felt sad and needed retail therapy. When you tell yourself you deserve a $5,000 vacation on a credit card you can't pay off, what you are actually saying is, I deserve to be financially stressed for the next 3 years to pay for 6 days of artificial relaxation. You don't deserve the new car. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve to sleep at night without calculating which bill you can float until the next paycheck. But you keep trading actual, long-term peace for a temporary dopamine hit that arrives in a cardboard box with a smiley face on it. Let's talk about your enablers. If you are the spoiled child, the credit card companies are the manipulative, absent parents trying to buy your love. Have you ever stopped to actually read your credit card statement? I mean, really read it, not just look at the big bold number at the top and close the app in a cold sweat. Look at the minimum payment due. That minimum payment is the greatest psychological trick ever pulled on the American middle class. It is perfectly engineered by behavioral economists to be just low enough that you don't panic, and just high enough that you stay in debt until you die. Let's say you have $10,000 in credit card debt. You had a few I deserve it moments, maybe a medical bill, a car repair, and suddenly, boom, 5 figures of debt. Your minimum payment is maybe $250. You look at that and think, okay, $250. I can manage that. I'm responsible. If you only pay the minimum and you never put another single charge on that card, it will take you over 9 years to pay off that $10,000. But here is the punchline. You won't pay $10,000. With a standard 24% APR, you will hand that bank over $12,000 strictly in interest. You paid double. You bought a phantom car, a phantom vacation, a phantom lifestyle, and you gave it directly to a bank executive's bonus fund. When you look at your credit card balance, you aren't looking at your buying power. You are looking at a chronological record of your inability to delay gratification. You are looking at a monument to your adult tantrums. So, how do we stop the crying? How do we take the pacifier away without destroying the house? You need rigid, unbreakable boundaries. You need rules, not budget categories, not colorful charts. You need behavioral guardrails. Rule number 1, the 72-hour quarantine. From this exact second forward, you are no longer allowed to buy anything that isn't biologically necessary to keep you alive without waiting 72 hours. See a pair of shoes. Put them in the cart. Close the tab. Wait 3 days. See a new gadget. Put it in the cart. Close the app. Wait 3 days. See a new gadget. Children have no concept of the future. They only understand now. Adults understand that a desire delayed is often a desire destroyed. 90% of the things you think you desperately need on a Friday night, you will completely forget about by Monday morning. If you still genuinely need it after 72 hours and you have the cash, buy it. But you'll find that the dopamine urge evaporates the moment the artificial urgency is removed. Rule number 2, the translation of time. Stop looking at price tags in dollars. Dollars are abstract. You swipe a piece of plastic, a machine beeps, and you walk away. It doesn't feel like a loss. You need to start pricing things in the only currency that actually matters, your life energy. Calculate your actual hourly wage after taxes. Let's say you make $25 an hour after the government takes its cut. You see a $200 smartwatch you want to buy on a Tuesday afternoon because you're bored. Don't ask if you have $200. Ask yourself, am I willing to go into my job, sit at that desk, deal with those emails, and tolerate that manager for 8 full, agonizing hours just to put this piece of metal on my wrist? When you force your brain to translate consumer goods into hours of your finite, depreciating life, the treat yourself culture suddenly looks like voluntary servitude. Rule number 3. The snowball execution. If you have multiple debts, you are going to use the snowball method. Forget the math nerds who tell you to pay off the highest interest rate first. If you were capable of optimizing math, you wouldn't be in this mess. You have a behavioral problem, so we are going to use a behavioral solution. List all your debts from the smallest balance to the largest. Pay the absolute minimum on everything except the smallest one. You attack that smallest debt with everything you have. Sell the clothes you don't wear. Cancel the streaming services you spend more time scrolling through than watching. Throw every spare dollar at that small debt until it is dead. Why? Because you need a win. You need to prove to yourself that you are not powerless. When you wipe out that first debt, you take the money you were paying on it and you roll it into the next smallest debt. Like a snowball rolling down a hill, gaining mass, gaining speed, and crushing everything in its path. You manufacture momentum. Rule number 4, the plastic ban. If you are carrying a balance, you have lost your credit card privileges. Period. You do not get to play the points game. I hear this all the time. But I use my credit card for the cash back. You are paying 24% in interest to get 1.5% cash back. You are tripping over dollars to pick up pennies and feeling like a financial genius. Delete the cards from your Apple Pay. Delete them from Google Wallet. Take the physical cards, put them in a Ziploc bag full of water, and put them in the back of your freezer. Make it physically annoying to access your debt. Force yourself to use cash or a debit card for the next 90 days. Feel the pain of the money actually leaving your account. Reconnect with reality. Being an adult means parenting yourself. It means looking in the mirror and saying no to the person staring back at you. It means understanding that true financial freedom isn't about buying whatever you want. It's about not being owned by what you've already bought. The marketing machine will always tell you that you are one purchase away from happiness. The banks will always be there, smiling, offering to finance the illusion. But the next time you feel the urge to swipe your card for something you don't need, to reward yourself for simply surviving the week, take a breath. Stand up. Walk out of the store. Stop throwing a tantrum, grow up, and keep your money.